Hi, my name's Steve. Welcome aboard my narrowboat home, Moorland Rose. Please join me as I take a slow boat through Britain. I start this journey on the northern Trent Mersey, close to the Anderton boat lift. After a couple of nights moored at the Stanley Arms, it was time to move on. The day started really wet, so unfortunately I was unable to take much video. The rain had eased slightly by the time I got to Preston Brook Tunnel, so out came the video camera. Being just over 13 foot wide, two boats are unable to pass in the tunnel. Therefore, going north, you can only enter the tunnel on the hour until 10 minutes past, and coming south on the half hour until 20 minutes to. The tunnel entrance is a Grade 2 listed building. Perhaps now is not the time to mention that in 1981 part of the tunnel collapsed, and it wasn't until 1984 that it was reopened. As there is no towpath, for almost 100 years boats were legged through the tunnel while the horses were taken over the top. However, in 1865 steam tugs were introduced, but the tunnel didn't have any air vents, and this resulted in a number of boatmen dying after being overcome by fumes. Very soon ventilation shafts were sunk, and here's an example of one of them. Some of the air vents present you with an impromptu shower, but with a deft bit of handling, I managed to avoid getting wet. Leaving the north end of the tunnel, I now enter the Bridgewater Canal. The Bridgewater Canal is regarded by many to be the first true canal in England. It was commissioned by Francis Egerton, the 3rd Duke of Bridgewater, to transport coal from his mines at Worsley into Manchester, and opened in 1761. The canal was one of few in Britain never to be nationalised, and to this day remains in private ownership. A separate licence is required to cruise the Bridgewater Canal. However, a reciprocal agreement between the Canal and River Trust and the owners of the Bridgewater allows boats 7 days on each other's water. In the shadow of the M56 motorway bridge, I make a left turn off the main line of the Bridgewater Canal onto the Runcorn Arm.
People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Birds chirping and I...
Wanting to get his coals to the wider world, the Duke of Bridgewater realised that by connecting his canal to the River Mersey at Runcorn, he could access the port of Liverpool. However, Due to complaints by various landowners, it would be 14 years before the canal was built.
Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah.
Runcorn Arm is nearly 5 miles long, and originally 10 locks took the canal down to the River Mersey at Runcorn. Then when the Manchester Ship Canal was built in 1894, they were diverted into that. The locks were closed in 1960 when the approach to the Silver Jubilee Bridge was built, and now the canal goes no further than Waterloo Bridge.
Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a walk. Savannah. The silence fades into the night. Coyotes sing at the moonlight. These open highways are calling our name, and now it's time for us to escape. Feel the wind touch our face. Let's take a spin to a foreign place. These open highways are calling our name, and now it's time for us to escape. Escape to a world we don't know. Escape into the great unknown. Escape to a world we don't know. Escape into the great unknown. Escape, let's escape. Let's escape. Let's escape. Close through the night. I won't let go until the sunrise. These open highways are calling our name, and now it's time for us to escape. Wave goodbye to your city life and say hello to the desert sky. These open highways are calling our name, and now it's time for us to escape. Escape to a world we don't know. Escape into into the great unknown. Escape to a world we don't know. Escape into the great unknown. Let's escape.
The limit of navigation on the Runcorn Arm is the Waterloo Bridge, so it's time to turn round, or in canal parlance, wind. If I do say so myself, I make an excellent job of winding a 58-foot narrowboat with no bow thruster for help, especially with those boats on the opposite bank. Now, returning the way I'd come, I head for an overnight mooring that I'd spotted on the way here. These moorings outside the Brindley Theatre have rings to tie to and a dry towpath, and easy access into the town of Runcorn. A short walk gets me down to the River Mersey, with the Manchester Ship Canal in the foreground. This small park by the Manchester Ship Canal offers a great view of the Mersey Gateway Bridge. I hope you enjoyed the trip down the Bridgewater to Runcorn. It's my first time on the Bridgewater Canal, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Probably not quite as rural as most of the canals that we've been on so far, but the interesting part is some of the architecture as well. Well, it's time to head back up Heartbreak Hill. I've got to go and get the boat blacked back up in Kidsgrove, so that's where we're headed next. So I hope you'll join me on the next journey. I know we've covered part of Heartbreak Hill already, but it always looks different on the way back. If you'd like to subscribe, it helps my figures with YouTube. And once you've subscribed, you'll be able to click the bell icon, and that way YouTube will let you know every time I issue a new video. And keep the comments coming. I'll try and answer all the comments that I get. I love reading them. And give me a like if you enjoyed the video. Click that thumbs up button, give me a like. and I feel a lot better for it. Right, that's all for this video. As I say, heading back up to Kidsgrove, up at Stoke-on-Trent, to go and get the boat blacked. So please join me on the journey back up the hill. Thanks for watching.